We spend so much time planning for the future. We think about our finances, our homes, our physical stuff. But what about that other world we've all built? That massive, sprawling, and super personal world online? What happens to our emails, our photos, our social media accounts, our entire digital selves after we're gone? But before we get into all that, let's start with a question that might hit a little closer to home, especially for the millions and millions of us who live alone. There can be this quiet, nagging fear in the back of your mind. What if something happened to me and nobody knew? This one comment from a Reddit user just, man, it gets right to the heart of it, doesn't it? It's not always about us. It's about who or what we'd leave behind. For so many people, the very first thought isn't about their files or their accounts, it's about their pet. And that simple, powerful worry is often the thing that pushes people to start looking for a solution. Now, this fear of being undiscovered is definitely not new, but our solutions for it are changing fast. We've moved way beyond just hoping a neighbor notices the mail piling up, and some of these modern solutions are, well, they're incredibly direct. In China, an app literally called Are You Dead became a massive hit. The idea is so simple. If you don't tap a button every couple of days, it automatically alerts your emergency contact. And it's for everyone, from students living away from home to seniors. It taps into that universal need for a safety net. Really, this is just the next evolution of what we've always done. For generations, the methods were really personal, right? A daily call with a friend, or like one person on Reddit mentioned, a system where you'd leave flashcards on the door for a nurse to check. Now we have a whole arsenal of digital tools. We've got check-in apps like Snug, smartwatches that can detect a fall, and even sensors on your fridge that can alert your family if the door hasn't been opened. So, technology can help make sure our physical absence gets noticed. Okay, great. But that opens up an even trickier, much more modern problem. What about our digital presence? What happens to the ghost in the machine? Think about it. Over our entire lifetime, our digital footprint, every single post, photo, and account, it just grows and grows. This collection of digital stuff forms what experts call a digital estate. But if we don't leave any guidance, no will, no instructions, that estate just sits there. It becomes a digital ghost, an abandoned online version of you, just floating out there in space cyber. So are we prepared for this? Not even close. A report from Trust and Will projects that by 2025, a staggering 55% of Americans won't have any estate documents. I mean, not for their house, not for their money, and you can bet not for their data. We're pretty unprepared for the physical world, let alone the digital one. And listen, this isn't just a sentimental thing, it's a massive economic one. Our digital estates, from crypto wallets to domain names, can hold some serious financial value. This is like a hidden economy of our digital ghosts, and the industry being built to manage it all is predicted to be worth $13 billion. That's how big this problem has gotten. Okay, so we've established the problem. It's huge, it's personal, and it's only getting bigger. So what do we actually do about it? Well, the answer seems to lie in creating a kind of post-mortem password, a key that lets our loved ones into our digital world, but responsibly. The main idea here is something called a digital dead man's switch. And it sounds complicated, but think of it like a digital watchdog. It's a system that just waits for a signal from you, a check-in. If you go quiet for a period of time that you get to choose, the switch flips and it automatically carries out the instructions you left behind. Simple as that. You might have actually seen some basic versions of this already. Google has its inactive account manager, which can share your data with a trusted contact. Facebook has its legacy contact who can manage your memorialized profile. But, and this is a big but, these tools have limits. A legacy contact on Facebook, for example, can't read your private messages or delete old embarrassing posts. They give you a little control, but it is far from the whole picture. So for people who want more control, there are dedicated digital legacy services that offer a much stronger solution. And the process is usually pretty straightforward. First, you decide what you want to happen. You want to send final emails, share passwords, Then you pick a secure service, you set your timers for an activity, and, this part is key, you test the system once in a while to make sure it actually works. It's all about taking control, proactive. But managing your accounts and your passwords, that's really just the beginning. As technology gets more and more powerful, we are entering a really strange and fascinating new territory, one that raises some profound questions about grief, about memory, and what it even means to be gone. Okay, this is where things get really wild. We're not just talking about saving data anymore, we're talking about reanimating it. We're talking AI chatbots built from a person's texts and emails that can actually mimic their personality. We're talking interactive holograms. Technology is starting to offer us ways to interact with the deceased that felt like pure science fiction just a decade ago. And this brings us right to the central conflict. Because on one hand, these digital copies could provide immense comfort to someone who's grieving. But on the other hand, could they actually stop us from moving on? It's an incredibly delicate and very, very personal balance. So, this is the core question researchers are asking right now. Is this technology a helpful tool for processing loss, what some are calling grief tech, or is it something a little more unsettling, a digital haunting where an AI might behave in ways you don't expect and ends up amplifying sorrow instead of soothing it? There are absolutely no easy answers here. So, with all of this complex technology and all these deep ethical questions, what's the big takeaway? It's that at the end of the day, the solution isn't just technological, it's deeply human. It's something that requires thought, conversation, and most of all, planning. So, what can you actually do? Well, the consensus among experts is pretty clear. You gotta be proactive. You can start simple. Just make an inventory of your digital assets. Then appoint someone you trust, a digital executor, to manage them. It's also really smart to use those built in tools on platforms like Google and Facebook. But maybe most importantly, leave clear written instructions about what you want saved, what you want shared, and, just as crucial, what you want deleted forever. And all of this leaves us with one final thought to chew on. In an age where our online and offline selves are so tangled together, we really have to decide what our legacy is going to be. Will it be the physical things we leave to our loved ones, or will it be the digital ghost we leave behind for the entire world? For now, at least, that choice is still ours to make.